We're excited today to have Dr. Kathryn Guylay with us. This is going to be a very fun interview because I just want to tell you her website is Make Everything Fun. I had a phone call with her. It was all very fun. But I am going to let her introduce herself to you and talk about some of the things that she actually has published and things that she's working on. So, Dr. Guylay, why don't you?
Well, thank you so much, Gary. And I am the founder of a nonprofit organization named Nurture. And you can find out information at nurtureyourfamily.org or makeeverythingfun.com/nurture. And I see, Gary, you've got up an image of a course that I did with one of my dear friends, registered dietitian Juliet Britton. And now I see the book is up there. So we've got a lot of goodies. I've made a course on nutrition free for listeners. It's all about how food feelings affect your health and how you can eat for optimal energy and well-being. It's so important in this time that we are taking care of ourselves, that we're taking care of our children. These are definitely difficult times. I do believe that with adversity comes opportunity. And so while I'm definitely recognizing the obstacles that many of us are facing, especially parents with kids at home, and Dr. Khanna, I listened to that fabulous interview that you did with Dr. Martin Thompson, and speaking about families with 9, 10, 11, 14 children, and what it's like to have your home be a school, what it's like to be a workplace, what it's like to, in some cases, be a place where we're giving healthcare, if we're taking care of sick ones. So I'm just giving my heart out to all the listeners and the viewers and to Gary and Dr. Khanna for what they're doing in this world, and for all of the other wonderful guests that are here to inspire you to use this time and make the most of this time so that we can come out as a community even stronger, even healthier, would be my hope. And I'll just finish this statement by saying that I am here to hopefully inspire, to educate, and to give choice on this whole journey.
Oh, thank you so much. I also wanted to share some of your other things that you do. I want to talk about your book. Tell me about the book that you have.
Absolutely. So it's interesting. My website is makeeverythingfun.com, and I do a lot with nutrition, with wellness, but also with publishing and leadership and business. And I work with large corporations and small corporations and startups. But this book, Make Nutrition Fun, was just sort of a work of joy. We are offering it to listeners and viewers for free. It's part of the course that I'll be talking about in a minute. But what it really is about is, you see the subtitle, End Food Fights and Find Family Peace in Just 30 Days. Taking a month out of our schedule to really focus on something and give something attention is really how we create change. And so what this book does is it walks through basically a 30-day plan, but I sort of match it to the alphabet, right? So we have some days off that we can kind of integrate our learning. And for each chapter, it's just sort of like, A is for this topic and B is for that. And so it makes it kind of fun and whimsical. It's very light reading, but it also is personal stories about how I, as a nutritionist, struggled raising my kids. And I have 2 kids, they're now teenagers, but it's difficult. I absolutely understand parents today and the struggles they have with what's going on with the food system, and how we can, especially families that are on aid, it used to be called food stamps, now it's SNAP, how we can afford healthy eating even on a budget. So I go through all of that, eating whole foods, things like rice and other kinds of grains and beans and legumes for protein, lots of fruits and vegetables. I'm wearing my rainbow sweater because I go around the country teaching kids and teachers and parents about the importance of eating a rainbow, but we'll get to that later.
Yes, thank you very much. We really appreciate it, Dr. Guylay. I've been reading your book. I haven't gotten through it, but I found it very interesting and very fulfilling. I'd like to just turn it over to Dr. Khanna. He's going to have some questions for you regarding the free book. If you want the free book, just contact us at contactk.com. That's contactk.com. And you can get in touch with Dr. Connor. We just fill out a short form, and we'll get back to you. Also, as you know, we're always looking for young people to help us. We have a morning show. We've had a number of young people on our morning show. If you're under 26 years old, contact us, join us on the show. Contactk.com. Dr. Connor is a child safety advocate. He is the champion of Voice of the Kids. He is an attorney, and he is a servant of the underserved. He's launched two gigantic initiatives. One is the 2018 Juvenile Justice Reformation Act, and the second is inspireyourbestlife.com. So we got a lot going on in addition to the radio show. But our chief interviewer here is Dr. Connor. Dr. Connor, this is Dr. Guylay.
Thank you very much, Gary, for introducing me and introducing and bringing this wonderful guest here. Because when I heard about make everything fun, well, you know what? Brother Willie, you got to bring a smile in your face. We have to make everything fun, all right?
I hear you.
Okay.
Don't make me laugh.
Okay, so my dear audience, I know you've been hearing this for a long time from me every single week, but I don't think I could have brought an person who always is dedicated to make your life fun. She doesn't make your life fun by just talking about it. She makes life fun by giving you the solution. So we all can enjoy our life. And that's the whole purpose of this type of show. And I'm very thrilled, Dr. Guylay. And I don't know where I should start, but you have picked up the stuff which I really wanted to give to the community. That's the reason why Gary just said I launched two gigantic programs. Well, it seems gigantic, but I cannot do it by myself. I need everybody to help, and especially the audience. Means you have no idea. This CFC, Brother Willie, he looks so tiny. But let me tell you a little bit about Brother Willie. He is 207 years old. That's number one. He looks young. So that means he is following all the nutritional things which you will be recommending. So he is 207 years old, number one. Number two, he has been talking to this audience, which is almost 30 to 40 million subscribers. So you have no idea that 30 to 40 million families or people are listening to this show today. And we can definitely make an impact. Well, we cannot unless they make a move so that they can be part of this club. And this club is, I love your website, Make Everything Fun. That is the club. So could you tell me a little bit how that club, I'm going to call that as a club, how that club can, and I'm going to be a little selfish based on the program which we launched about the juveniles, about the young adults, because young adults, those who come out of incarceration, they feel hopeless, okay? They feel that the whole world is now gone. Well, several factors are there, of course, but how can we bring them to this club and make them a part of a member of this club and make their life fun? Could you enlighten this a little bit?
Thank you so much, Dr. Khanna. So it's interesting with this brand or this idea of Make Everything Fun. I am definitely not trying to say that life is easy, that it's a whole dance through the roses and tulips. Absolutely not. I, have been through my own trauma and many traumas and difficulty and all kinds of adversity. So I'm not trying to ignore that at all. I want to say that, at the get-go. What the Make Everything Fun Club is all about is it's about recognizing that life is full of challenges and adversity, and it's full of rocky situations and challenges that we need some kind of fuel to get through. And I feel like, and I was just on a summit, and they were saying that the searches for depression on Google have gone up 900%. Searches for depression since March, right? So I am also not saying that, mental illness is not a thing. It absolutely is a thing. We have to be aware of it, and we have to be sensitive to it. And we have to be educating our society about the importance of mental wellness as well as physical wellness. But how does fun fit in? I believe that we need a sustainable source of fuel to get us through these challenges. And fun is different for every person. For my son, dancing is really fun. For my husband, listening to music is fun. For me, it's looking at a blue sky, right? Or working with a child and seeing a child figure out a solution to something and having that aha moment. So fun is very diverse. It's very flexible. It's changing all the time based on the person. And it also is always nodding in recognition to the fact that life has lots of challenges, and we just need some fuel to get us through that, to know that there's a way maybe to soften those challenges a little bit, but also that when we get to the other side, we can celebrate with something. Because and this is the last thing I'll say here, is that we as a society are working very hard to achieve goals and milestones, but oftentimes we get to those goals and milestones and all we do is look for the next one. What's the next goal? What's the next milestone? We don't stop to celebrate. And by celebrating, we're creating more good things. And so by focusing on the good, we create more good. So that's also where the fun tribe comes in, is when something good happens in your day, take a moment, pause, and celebrate it. And just notice how your day starts to unfold from there.
That's a very good point, that the fun can be recognized by celebration, because not many people, and like you said, different people have different way of experiencing fun, but at the end, the fun should be recognized by celebration. That is very important. I like the way you are dealing with it. I think this gives a hope to the young children, those are coming out of incarceration, when they think that they have no hope. That's the thing, And if I may add that, like you said, your son, loves dancing. That's the fun. You love to see the blue sky. That gives you the fun. You know what? Maybe it sounds crazy, but for me, the fun is if I can help someone who can have the fun. That's something which I am, always hankering for, so that I can give something to somebody where they can be out of, the distress they're having. I know since March or February, we are going through a very much hard time. It is not easy, but we have to make it easy. We have to make the life, fun. So I think this is the right time. So I know you concentrate on the nutrition part a lot to get the fun part, which I believe is a very important element, because you go right deep into the guts, so that if the gut is not rightly done, if your hunger is not rightly done, then your mind is not going to work. Okay, because you use the word, I cast it, it's called fuel. So our fuel is food. What type of food we take in. So what do you think that, because with the challenges we are going right now, financial challenges, so people have an impression that nutritional food are expensive. Okay, they have this, impression. I'm not saying they are, but it is an impression. Okay, oh, I can get, $5, I can go and get this fast food, all canned foods and all these things. But if I want to get a fresh food, it's going to cost me, $50. I'm just throwing numbers. Okay, so how do you address that? How do you tell the audience, how can they address this?
And that's such a great question, Dr. Khan. And that's actually the same question that we as a team at Nurture asked ourselves. How can we create healthy, yummy recipes that are $1.50 or less per serving? And so at makeeverythingfun.com/blog, I just put up a blog that links to all kinds of recipes that are easy to prepare, and they are all $1.50 less per serving. So these meals compete with fast food. They compete with processed food, but they're also very delicious. And the way we did it and continue to do it is we are focusing on whole foods that are very inexpensive. So like I was mentioning rice and grains before, even some fun grains like millet or quinoa, maybe that the family hasn't tried. And then there's beans and split peas and other legumes that provide protein, and then fruits and vegetables, and also things with slow cookers. And we were able to provide, thousands and thousands of slow cookers to our participants through a sponsorship. So we would give them a slow cooker and we would give them recipes. I'll give you two examples, Dr. Khanna. One is just getting some bones from the butcher and making a delicious broth out of that as a base for some soup. And then getting some fruits and vegetables and maybe some beans. And we're talking really low cost, but delicious and nutritious food. That's one example. Another recipe I'll give as an example was from a program that we did on the outside of Chicago for teen moms. And so these were girls that were trying to go to school, but they had babies and they were definitely struggling with how to afford healthy food. And so what we did is we taught them how to cook a butternut squash. I mean, just cut it in half, put it in the oven at 425 with a little bit of olive oil, and then scoop it out. And what we showed them is that they can make baby food for their babies. They could make 14 times the amount of baby food for the same dollar that they could by spending it on, jarred food that comes off of the store shelf. So we are here to kind of debunk the idea that you have to spend a lot of money in order to eat healthy.
What blog is that? I am looking at your website. Do you have one in which one is it that you're talking about?
So yeah, it's the very last one. So I think that would be the one all the way on the left-hand side, upper left-hand side, and it announces being on this show.
Oh, great. Yeah. Oh, thank you very much. Yeah. Let's show that to everybody. We appreciate you doing that. And I'll just show everybody that your website. And here it is. Make everything fun. Thank you for doing this. It's we see the voice of the kids there. This is a radio show we're on, and how to make healthy eating fun. Oh my goodness. Tell us about what the Picky Eater Whisperer is. Tell us about that.
Well, I was on several television programs when my children's books came out, the Give It a Go, Eat a Rainbow, and Where Does a Rainbow Grow? And I would wear things like this, and I would show up and I would talk to the kids about eating a rainbow, because, kids are not necessarily worried about cardiovascular disease. They're not necessarily worried about diabetes. They want to play, they want to have energy, and they want to have fun. And so what we did is we created this concept of the rainbow. And what I heard from the parents and from the teachers is that kids that were self-professed as being picky eaters, all of a sudden they started, having, a smoothie or trying that broccoli. And what I'll share, and again, this is another resource that's on my book pages, and it goes to the children's book page, what the kids can do with these characters in the book. And this is all free. They can download the character from the book for free, cut out the character, and the character's name is Blake. So Blake could be a boy, could be a girl. Blake could have brown skin. Blake could have yellow skin. Blake could have long hair, because you can basically customize Blake. It's gender neutral. It's the ethnicity neutral character. And what we talk about is the Picky Eater Whisperer is, what does Blake feel like trying? And so it's not this outside parent pressure point, try that food or eat your vegetables. It's like a companion. It's like positive peer pressure. And I see the kids and they put the little Blakes on like a popsicle stick. And like I said, I see Blakes of all colors, shapes, and sizes with various different outfits on, because some of the kids like to dress up the Blake. And then they bring the Blake to their lunchroom and they say, okay, Blake and I are going to try this thing in the lunch tray. So it's this picky eater whisper is kind of that idea of being very gentle and being, whispering the idea of, let's see if maybe there's an outside neutral resource or even a fun, positive resource that can supply some ideas, and taking out the pressure that kids feel, to finish their P's or whatever. I remember hearing that when I was a kid. And I'll just mention on the character idea as well. When I was going around to the schools and presenting, the kids would say, well, Dr. Kathryn, can we have our colors of the rainbow with Skittles and with Lucky Charms? And I thought to myself, ooh, those kiddos are so smart. I better get back to work. So we published a second book in the series, and that's called Where Does a Rainbow Grow? And it teaches the kids all about farm to table and plant identification. And then they kind of get the idea, oh, Lucky Charms doesn't grow on plants and Skittles don't grow on plants. So maybe I need to follow what that character, and that character is Sammy and it's a bunny. So again, it's about kind of fun engagement with taking off the pressure, taking off shame and blame, which I think kind of gets mixed up in the nutrition conversation. And I think that's a very dangerous mix, that shame and blame issue.
So, you mentioned something when I asked you a question about expensive, about being healthy or, nutritional food. So, but you said that you have recipes that they can be done by $1.50, say $1.50 recipe. So could you tell a little bit more on that? Because also this will be the right question, because our wonderful lady from Montana, she's a young mother, and she definitely would like to hear that how she can feed herself and the baby per meal. Let's not quote, audience, don't quote that you can feed the whole family for $1.50, but at least we can try that she has some recipes that will not be that expensive, which we always think that nutritional means expensive. So I'll turn it to Dr. Guylay. Please go ahead.
Okay, so I will try to keep this to about 30 seconds. Okay, so I wrote a blog post and I'll repost it, so it's very high up on my list.
Okay.
And it was about how you can spend $100 at a grocery store two ways. And you can go to the grocery store and you can buy, those little packaged crackers for your baby, and you can buy frozen meals and, some soda. And you can actually use that same amount of money and instead buy garbanzo beans and tahini and olive oil and have hummus for the whole week. And you can, buy bagged rice and cook it up in a rice cooker or on the stove and have that for your baby for a long, long time, right? Because just one bag of rice would be many, many servings. So to summarize it, because I know we're short on time, it's really about taking some fun time to do some home preparation and buying the foods that are whole foods that don't have long ingredients lists, and just rolling up your sleeves and putting on some music and having some fun in the kitchen.